What's going on, everybody? Welcome into American Football Network. And today we have for you guys our 2024 Miami Dolphins mock draft. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know how I did, who I missed, what positions I didn't fill that you think I should have filled, all that good stuff down below in the comments. Help us reach that subscriber goal of 1,350 subs by the end of April. We're about 27 away from that, I believe, right now. So let's get going on that. Let's go ahead and hit that. See if we can't hit 1,400 by the end of April. Check out the description for links to our shop, podcast website, Patreon page, our other channels, and our friends as well. So check all that good stuff out. But let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So the Dolphins are up first at 21, and I'm hoping my guy's going to be there. He's been falling a little bit here in some of these drafts, and I hope he's there. I'm not sure if he's going to be or not, though. As let's go look, and he is there. And this is a position that I feel is the biggest need in terms, especially in terms of first round for the Dolphins, is Jerzon Newton, the D lineman out of Illinois. This is a guy who is going to be a big time player in the NFL. You just lost Christian Wilkins, who signed the massive deal with the Raiders. And so if you can go ahead and just replace him first year, that would be huge. If you want to go offensive lineman in the first round, that's fine with me because you have this guy right here, Tavondre Sweat, who's another guy who you can throw in at 21. But I like Newton going in the first round. I think that that would be huge if they're able to pick him up in this one. Now we are looking at, excuse me, the second round pick. And edge isn't a huge need for the Dolphins, but Braswell is going to be hard to pass up. But I don't think you go. I mean, maybe you do because the trenches for the Dolphins were not great last year, especially now that you mentioned in the fact that Wilkins is gone and you're going to have to replace him. It's not ideal, but you definitely could go with Braswell there. Let me look around, see who else. See, I love Peyton Wilson, especially if you can get him at 55, but it just isn't a position of need for the Dolphins. There aren't any offensive linemen on here to go for. Looking at how the draft shaped out, I probably should have gone offensive lineman in the first round, preferably left tackle because Armstead's still good. That's why it's not a huge need for me because Armstead is still really good right now. Only problem is that he's 32 and he's missed some time. You know, he's missed a good bit of time with injuries throughout his 2 seasons in Miami, and so it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and get a guy that can come in and sit behind him and be a backup if he gets injured. But at the same time, I don't think it's a huge need for him either. But I am going to go with Tyler Nubin here, the safety from Minnesota. Safety's a position the Dolphins could use some good depth at. It's not the highest position on the list of needs, but it's a spot where you don't want to pass on a guy like Nubin and draft some of the other guys ahead of him at other positions because they just aren't good enough to go that high. Um, and so we're going to be picking at 158 next. So 103 picks between the two for the Dolphins. And here we are. We've arrived at pick number 158. And let's go ahead and peek the tackles. Christian Jones there. That's going to be a good pickup. I'm going to go. Yeah, I like Christian Jones a lot. I think he's a guy who has some talent. And, you're getting him here in the later rounds. But it's a guy who can come in and he can really make a difference for you. And so I like him. A guy that you can really develop. He's got some talent. He's got the skill set. He's got the frame to do it. So I like the pickup of Christian Jones there on that one. And at 184, I'm going to go with Jared Wiley, the tight, or excuse me, the Dolphins could use a tight end, just in terms of a depth piece. Again, need any starters. I think if they just put the Dolphins roster to make playoff, but if that's necessarily the route they want to take. So I don't think I think they want to draft some more guys to come in and help them. So you look at tight end, that's a position you can definitely get an upgrade at that position. And so I wouldn't mind seeing them do that here and taking Jared Wiley. At 198, I am going to go with, let's see here. Um, this is the other hard thing for the Dolphins is they don't have a ton of picks either. I'm going to go ahead and take Anaya Smith off the board here at 198, wide receiver from A&M. Again, not a big position of need for Miami, but it wouldn't hurt to have another receiver out there with kind of some of the injury issues you've had at the position. You're still very solid at receiver, but wouldn't be bad to add in a talented guy like Anaya Smith, throw him in the mix, especially the way the Dolphins run offense. There's it's not crazy to see Miami going four wide. So Anaya Smith would be a good pickup to uh to have. He'd be a good pickup to have on your roster. I think he's a talented receiver, a guy who can make a name for himself in the NFL. I think he could be a um, very good wide receiver. And you still have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, but Adonai Smith wouldn't be a bad pickup there. And then at 241, I probably should have waited on receiver until now and took Flourney. Um, yeah, 241. I'm gonna go. Let me see if there's any other corners available. I'm not big on Dixon either, but I like him over McLaughlin. And not really a big fan of any of these other guys. Price has some potential, but he feel like he's this would with these guys ahead of him, you don't want to take him here. So I'll go with Johnny Dixon, add some more depth to that cornerback room for Miami. And they only have 6 picks, but looking back on this draft, I think it was a good draft for them. I think Dolphins fans will be happy with this one. You guys let me know down in the comments. But a recap, number 21, I went Jerzon Newton, the D lineman from Illinois. That was my guy. At number 55, I went Tyler Nubin, the safety from Minnesota. 158, Christian Jones, offensive tackle from Texas. At 184, Jared Wiley, tight end from TCU. At 198, I took Anaya Smith, the wide receiver from Texas A&M. And at 241, Johnny Dixon, the cornerback from Penn State. So you guys let me know what you thought down below. Appreciate y'all tuning in. This was a shorter one, didn't have as many picks to do on this one, but let me know what you guys think. We appreciate everybody tuning in and watching today. Help us hit that goal of 1350 on the sub count by the end of April. We appreciate you guys once again. And yeah, so that wraps up today's video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.